Chase, it is a Wednesday night. It is the 27th day of May. And boy, howdy, the news and games are plentiful this week here at the Casual Hour. And that's a good thing because it's a What You Been Playing episode.
That's true.
How are you getting by? Did you enjoy your long weekend and did you celebrate the holiday?
Sure. Yeah, I had a good time. I went and visited my parents at our place down by some water. That was nice to be around some water for a bit. And, and I got a lot of time to play some video games. I told you I was ready to sit down and play a lot of Grim Fandango because I had this 3-day weekend, and that was the game that showed up on the wheel last month. And this was hey, what a perfect time! No better time. And I get down there, and my parents' place down there does not have internet access. So I get down there, I turn on the Switch, and it goes, "Oh, you didn't download this. Like this, you don't have this on the machine." I'm like, oh, whoops.
Damn.
So I didn't play any Grim Fandango, and I decided to play a different video game instead, which will annoy you when we get to it. But yes, I had a nice, relaxing weekend otherwise. And yeah, it was a fun time. How about you? Did you have any hot dogs? Did you grill out?
No. We took I hate to say it, but we've just been so fucking compressed by different stresses at work and outside of work that we have been pretty catatonic on the weekends as of late. And we've had some ill family members that we've had to lean into to help out. And then earlier this week, our middle-aged dog kind of borked one of its legs chasing the little dog. And so we've had to I was supposed to be, so we didn't talk about this, but on Notion, we were going to record on Thursday this week because I was supposed to be in Kansas City tonight seeing Rilo Kiley. Had to cancel that trip because we can't put R2 in daycare and boarding because of his injury. So
that sucks.
That sucks. Had to cancel that out, which is no fun. But we just chilled this past weekend, and I did do some cooking. I didn't do some grilling. Played some games. We got through a couple TV shows. I went and saw a movie, actually. Hadn't been to the movies. I went and saw Mandalorian and Grogu on Monday.
That sounds like a thing you'd do.
That sounds like a thing I would do. And it was fine. I don't know why it needed to be a movie. It certainly did not serve any broader purpose than stitching together 3 episodes of The Mandalorian. But hey, I'm a Star Wars slut. I will always try and support it. It wouldn't
be the first time Star Wars has ever put out a movie that you go, why was that a movie?
Right, 100%. This one, like, it wasn't
based
bad.
On a TV show, also. Like,
right.
That Clone Wars movie was so nothing.
Dude, this is the craziest thing. They did not introduce any broader concepts that were going on. They did not find a way to connect this storyline into anything with Ahsoka beyond a character from Rebels being in this show or in this movie. But dude, I cannot stress enough. It was literally just like 3 episodes of The Mandalorian, like a one shot off to this planet with the Hutts. They had a little rant running around. Like, that was great. But I was just like, why did this have to be a movie? Like, what was the purpose of this being a movie?
I can't judge too harshly. It was it last year? I think it was last year, right? That there was the Gundam G-Quux.
Oh yeah.
Movie that literally was the first 3 episodes of the TV show stitched together to be a movie.
Sure.
But you got to watch it before the actual show came out, so it was kind of like getting a little preview. And they tried to make it into like like these 3 episodes put together is like a movie, right? I'm like, not really. It was just kind of 3 episodes of TV that I watched together in a theater. But it can be fun sometimes.
I think when they bill it as like, hey, we're going to play the series finale in theaters as well. Or if it is like, hey, we want to celebrate this new season kicking off, we're going to put 3 episodes out at the movie this Friday. Come check it out.
Yeah.
But this was like, no, this is a standalone movie.
Billed as a movie. Yeah.
This is a movie, and it certainly was a movie. It was fun. It was fine. You could see the production value went up in this. You got to see a little bit more Pedro than you normally do. But it's one of those things where this especially, you're like, that's going to be on Disney Plus in a few weeks. And the movies are super expensive right now. So buyer beware.
Is this your first time going to a theater for a while?
No, we had been, what did we go see? There was another one that I saw not that long ago. We used to go to the Alamo quite a bit where we can. But yeah, that's what I got up to. And I've been playing a lot of games. I was going to ask you, there's a pretty big news story that we wanted to touch on. Do you want to start with that or do you want to end with that?
Let's start with it. Like, let's get it out of the way.
Yeah. Chase sent me a message on Monday. Was that Monday that you sent that over or Tuesday?
Last week?
This week. And you were just like, I guess we're going to have to
yeah, it might have been
fire up Destiny on Monday night stream. And I was like, what? Because you've been living clean. I certainly have been living clean. We talked about Destiny last week during the deep dive because one of the categories was like game you spent the most time with or something to that accord. And Destiny was it by a country mile for me. And not to bury the lead too far here, Destiny is giving its final content update and switching over to maintenance mode on Destiny 2. So I read that as like Destiny's done. That's kind of how I read it. Is that a fair read on that?
I think so. I mean, depends on what you mean as done. Like this, Destiny 1 is the servers for Destiny 1 are still up.
Yeah.
Destiny 2 is not going anywhere. It's going to stay up for years, if not decades. But will there be any more content for it? Any new stuff? No, there won't be. Now, does this mean that eventually we'll get a Destiny 3? I don't know, maybe. I don't know if Bungie is that studio anymore.
They're trying.
I'm sure they're trying.
There's a petition that's got like over 200,000 signatures now asking for that, which it's like, where were you motherfuckers this whole time? Like, if you're still that, I quit Destiny. And, let's just factually here, Chase. They're going to do one big update on the 9th. They've canceled some of the other stuff that they were planning for Destiny, and they have confirmed that, to what you were saying, servers are staying online for both games. We will be doing maintenance, but no new content. And I think the title of the blog post was like something akin to like endings become new beginnings or something to that degree. And
something like that.
Yeah. They were kind of spinning this into like, we're shifting and moving into new things. Like they've got Marathon going. I don't think Marathon's staying as strong at this juncture as they'd hoped, but the people who like Marathon really like it a lot. And there's some real gross shit happening between fan bases right now, as you can imagine, with Marathon and Destiny players. And that's been ongoing for a little bit, but they're going to continue supporting Marathon. They're going to have maintenance going for Destiny, and they're talking about something new. Allegedly, they're working on or looking at new things. I don't, outside looking in and just reading what other people report here, because we don't do our own reporting on it, it certainly feels like Sony has been frustrated with this purchase based off of some of the things that have been shared. And anybody can look at the numbers and you can see concurrent players, you can see figures, and you know what Destiny was purchased for. Broadly speaking, Sony's had a hell of a time breaking into any sort of live service gaming. They've had plans that were scrapped. Destiny was supposed to be it for them. Marathon was a huge boon for them also, but
they just shut down another live service game.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. So and again, they kind of doubled down on our first party experiences will only be on PlayStation. They're no longer bringing those over to PC. And if they're shutting down these live service ones, it's like, well, what the fuck are you doing here? So I don't know where you feel. I think you've been kind of somber about it from what I'm picking up. Like it's a weird thing to see happen.
Yeah, I mean, I feel a little apathetic. Honestly, I guess it was something that was a big deal to me for a very long time. I played a lot of Destiny 1 and a lot of Destiny 2.
Thousands of hours,
and had a lot of really good times. Made some new friends out of it. And
that clan was a good time.
The clan was great. It was, as much as I didn't like the idea of raiding, once you had a group that knew how to do things and was going in and doing it somewhat regularly, and we had plans and people executed those plans, you go, oh, actually, this is kind of fun.
You got some merch from that, right? Didn't you?
I got a big coat. You're right, from beating one of the raids in the first week that it was out.
So you've definitely had your time. You've earned your stripes in Destiny, and then some.
But there's also it's a little weird for me to say this because I dropped off Destiny before this happened. But they finished the story. They did it. They had the final shape. They finished it. That's a good point. That was the thing. And then they said, well, we can't obviously finish the video game because people are still playing it. So we'll just make these episodes. We'll add these little new bits of content. And I feel like anytime that happens, people are just going, but it's over. Like you told us it was over.
Or they've said that
what's the point of telling more?
Totally. Or they've said, hey, what you're putting out sucks, or hey, you've overpromised and underdelivered on this, or hey, do you care about Destiny because like you've got Marathon going now, and they needed to give Marathon its breathing room. Like this is it's not a new IP, but it's one of their IPs coming back after a very long period of time because it's been Destiny for over a decade. So that was an exciting moment, albeit I don't think it's the moment that you and I were excited for.
It's not the kind of game that we're interested in playing.
Now they are allegedly doing more like free stuff with that. It sounds like they're going to have like a free week or two for Marathon, and it does sound like they're floating by a PvE only version of that, which I could, if it was free and PvE only, I would potentially dip my toe in just to check it out, give it a little bit more time than I did. Anyway, are you going to download Destiny 2? And are you going to play Destiny 2 again? That's the real question here.
I think we're both going to do it. One, because I want to see, I don't not necessarily want to see what a dead game looks like, but I want to see what this last content bit is, because it honestly does sound like a pretty big drop of content. They are kind of combining a bunch of ideas that they were going to be doing over the next handful of seasons or episodic content thing that they were doing. And they just said, well, we're not crafting a story really around this, but we'll just like throw out a bunch of the ideas and mechanics that we were putting in there.
Yeah.
And some of it sounds okay. There are a lot of quality of life stuff that just makes things a little bit easier, a little easier to fill out the rest of your, gun library, for lack of a better term, finding the different pieces of equipment that you need, that you're missing, having kind of rotational seasonal stuff that will allow you to grab some of those things as well. Like they're still going to have Iron Banner every fourth week. They're still going to do trials, so there will still be things that you can get, and those rewards will continue to be refreshed as you play. So in some ways, it'll feel like Destiny will continue to be new. It's just that it's going on cycles of what it is. But the reason, Bobby, that you and I will have to download and play this game is one particular update that they're adding in. Sparrow Racing is back, bitch.
Hell yeah! Is it going? I mean, they tried to bring it back, kind of, right?
Yeah, kind of. But it sounds like this is real now.
Yeah, I mean, look,
bringing back tracks from. I think they're even bringing back tracks from Destiny 1. They mentioned that there are new tracks. And also the things that they brought in for Destiny 2 when they did have Sparrow Racing type stuff. So just for that, I'm interested in giving it a shot. But also, I kind of want to see what Destiny is like after so much time. And like I mentioned, I left right before the final shape, so I didn't really get.
Are you going to play that?
Maybe. Yeah, I guess so. Like if we load up Destiny and we have a halfway decent time the night or couple nights that we play together, then yeah, I could see myself just going through the story myself and knocking that stuff out. Or if you're interested, knocking it out with you.
Yeah.
And then once that's done, I don't think there's really, I'm not looking to invest another 50, 60, 100,000 hours into that game. But I am at least curious. I've had, every Destiny cutscene ever in one YouTube video downloaded for a very long time now, and I've even updated it to get the additional cutscenes that they've had. So I would like to see what the end of that story is, and I was always intending to. But yeah, if we're playing the video game and I'm having a good time again,
sure. I
mean, I don't think I need to trade in my chip for my sobriety on Destiny, but I'd be interested in seeing what it is.
So that week, there's a lot going on. That update's coming hot off the heels of the Summer Game Festival.
I mean, we don't have to play it the day that it.
Well, it's a Tuesday.
Yeah, of course it is. It's Destiny.
It's Destiny, but I do think Monday, June 15th, we will probably be going back to the tower. On our Casual Monday stream. I mean, if you want to, there's probably a reality chase where we need to preemptively load that up together and kind of.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure we'll probably need to do a little testing just to make sure.
Well, maybe we'll fire it up Tuesday night just to kind of get that ball rolling, because I think that'll be interesting to see how packed the house is too.
Yeah.
But look. You and I, you've covered this. I've covered this. Like, we've walked away from this game for various reasons a while ago, and there's certainly been a few things that have like piqued my curiosity. The Star Wars stuff certainly did. The Mass Effect integration certainly did. But it's just like, do I log on, buy this shit, and never play it? Like, no thanks. But I don't like seeing what's happened to Bungie across the board. And I'm not blaming Sony for this. I think there's some poor leadership decisions at Bungie along the way. But it just sucks in the bigger conversation with gaming is becoming increasingly harder to sustain. Even today, like Valve announced like some insane price hikes. Like the Steam Deck is
$300.
Yeah, dude.
For the high one, it's $300 increase. For the lower one, it's only a $200 increase. Like,
absolutely.
I've wanted to sell my Steam Deck for a long time, and maybe now's an even better time.
Yeah,
I can get even better price on that.
100%. And so, like, it's just, this is also at all the mergers and acquisitions that have happened. This is the tens of thousands of industry layoffs that have happened. it's a hard time right now to be enthusiastic about what's happening. And it's harder, especially when we get together each week to talk about it. So I am going to throw my flowers at Destiny. Destiny was a very important game to me. It continues to be a very important game, even if I'm not actively participating in it. But more so, I just don't love what's going on with Bungie. And I'd love to see them come back into the powerhouse that they are. Like, Bungie makes mechanically some of the best video games I've ever played. And a lot of what's around me in this room has Bungie DNA on it. So I am bummed to hear the news. Yes, gross. But I'm excited to talk to you about some other things that I've been up to. And it looks like you've been busy. How would you like to go one for one here? Like, if I bring up a game, then let you, because I think we each got a handful of things to talk about.
Yeah, mine will be quick, but sure, I'm happy to do that.
I'm going to start with Forza. Do you want to do a quick disclaimer about what's going on with Microsoft before we get into this discussion?
Yeah, just very brief. I'm not playing Forza Horizon 6. I would like to be, but I'm not, because I am still participating in the VDS movement, the boycott, divest, and forgot what the S is, but basically we're not supporting. I'm not supporting Microsoft right now in any ways that I can, especially when it comes to Xbox stuff. That is part of this boycott push, is that we're trying to make some change that's happening because of what Microsoft is doing right now in the Middle East and how they are supporting Israel. And so I'm not playing any Xbox-owned properties, and Bobby is not participating in that, and that is fine too. Everybody draws their own line. But for my money, I'm just staying away from Microsoft right now. And as Bobby has mentioned to me, both online and off, it's pretty easy, because like I don't really care about most of the stuff Microsoft's doing anyway. But I will say, if there was one thing that is really bumming me out, is I would like to play the Forza that's set in Japan, but I can't.
I think this is my favorite Forza, Chase.
I believe it.
I'm having more fun in this version of Forza Horizon than I've had in any of the other ones, and that's saying something, because I think Forza has been like the most exciting racing entries, Forza Horizon specifically. Going back to like 3 and on, like there's some definitely like higher and lower moments in those, but the setting has a lot to do with it. I think just the way that this game continues to make the freedom of exploration feel both rewarding but also satisfactory. Like, this game does not feel like a slog at any given juncture. There's always something you can do, or there's always things that you cannot do. Like, I've had some nights where it's just like, man, I want to play Forza, but I got the car that I had in high school. I'm really enjoying just driving that thing around, and I'm just going to go cruise and like take some pictures, maybe like get some of the mascots. And I don't know if I just am approaching this one differently, because it feels very much like the other games. So like, if you've played any of the recent Forza Horizon games, you'll be able to menu your way through this and mechanically understand what's going on. But this one just seems to pull together and like everything in such a pristine and prestigious way. Like, it is so fucking fun. It reminded me of like why I like racing games, and like, it's just a genre that I don't participate in much a lot any longer, and I don't get too in the weeds on. Like, I think the most recent Need for Speed game a couple years ago hooked me pretty hard too. But this is one where like, we had just talked about the Need for Speed games last week on the deep dive when we were going through some of our favorite non-sports racing games. And I was thinking a lot about that when we were getting those tiles ready for the deep dive. And I was like, I was so hooked. Like, this is the only thing I wanted to play and talk about. I knew the music, I knew the tracks, like, and that's happening here. I've got a radio station I'm really digging, which is Sub Pop Records. So I'm hearing a lot of the Shins and Beach House and all that while I'm cruising around. The car customization has been fun, but I'm just loving it. And I thought about, I'm like, God damn, like I'm sure you've seen stuff for it, Chase.
A little bit, yeah.
The mech race.
Oh, I haven't seen anything about that.
Oh my God. Like, I was like, this is the most chase coded shit, and I know he'd like it.
So it's just like, hey, race the train or race the plane, but now you're racing a mech because you're in Japan.
Yeah.
Sure.
But like there's a bullet train there too. And it's really cool how they did it. It's just, the cars are awesome. The history, the stories you're getting when you go to do like barn finds and stuff are really, really thoughtful and tasteful. Like, it's just been an awesome entry. And I can't recommend it enough. Obviously, there's a lot of things going on around Xbox, as Chase called out. So I'm not here to tell you where to draw your line in the sand. Like, you're looking at two people who have got very different approaches to this together. And, you know, like, we're trying to be respectful of both sides of that for each other. But anyway.
It's a bit of a backhanded compliment, but everything I've heard about the game makes it sound like they have made, you know, a pretty as frictionless an experience as possible.
Yeah.
And I think you can take that in a couple of different ways. Like in one way, like you're saying, this is a very accessible video game. You can kind of just go and do what you want and have a good time. And, you know, the game is just giving you a whole lot of quality of life stuff, and it's making it easy. It's making it frictionless in that way. But there's also an argument that I think some people could make of, you know, are these games too frictionless at that point? And I don't know. I haven't played it, so I can't really tell you. I just know what I've heard, and I can think of like my time playing the last handful of Forza Horizon games and going, you know, I'm winning almost all of these races. You know, when you're talking about racing, whether it's a mech or a train or a plane, those would have crazy rubber banding, so you would always kind of basically win, but basically win when it's very close. And so yeah, I can see where people are coming from, and I think playing a game like Burnout 3 Takedown also recently on the Thor has reignited me of going like, yeah, remember these racing games? Like, yeah, they still had a little friction to them. It was difficult, or it had little things that were annoying about them, but I think that's why I love them a little bit more, and why, you know, I ended up picking a Need for Speed game as my favorite racing game instead of a Forza Horizon game, because while I like those games, they do just kind of wash over you because they are such a chill experience.
Well,
most of the time.
Just one thing I want to bring up really quick.
Okay.
I'm going to say three words to you, and I want you to tell me if they ring a bell.
Okay.
Anything. Bowie Knife 99.
No, I don't think I understand.
Have you seen anything about this at all?
No.
Okay. There's a drive-atar. Is that what they call those?
Yes.
Okay. This is on everybody's game. There's a racer named Bowie Knife 99.
Okay.
The internet is undefeated on the memes they're making around this. Like, they've done some really funny edits with that chase from the Batman with the penguin and the car coming through the fire. Bowie Knife 99 needs to be studied as like one of the fucking craziest antagonist in any game history ever. Like, this is the biggest villain I have ever experienced. They are worse than any spike shell or spine shell from Mario Kart. Bowie, like any event you do, Bowie Knife 99 is going to fuck you up in one way or another. I hate Bowie Knife 99. I can't stand them. They are my rival. If I see them and that brake line turns red, I floor it and T-bone them and see what I can do every time. So there is some friction they've added in. They are probably going to have to nerf it at this point based off what I'm seeing. But the game does the things like, hey, you've won the last few by a good margin. Why not bump up your difficulty and get 10% more rewards? I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm going to do that. So I'm trying to like learn tune my cars, upgrade my cars, get the money and do that, and then go that route. So Forza Horizon 6, lot of noise around Microsoft and Xbox right now, but that game is my favorite one of those, and those have been my favorite video games in the racing genre in the last few generations. So if you're into those, or if you've been on the fence, now's a great time to check it out.
But still not as good as Need for Speed Underground 2.
You know, I do have that on my Thor, and I think I do appreciate the customization on that one. Like there were some very silly things that you could tune and tweak, but it is kind of nice being able to like download tunes on this and like get body kits and shit. And I don't know. I'm not ready to make that conversation. I'm not ready to have that conversation.
You made that conversation last week when you named it your
No. I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's better than that, but
yeah,
I also hour count probably far more in Need for Speed.
Yeah.
Chase, you did not play the game that you said you would, which was Grim Fandango, but
yeah,
did.
I really wanted to play Grim Fandango, and I did not have the means to, and I felt really bad about it. So I was on my Switch. And I thought, well, what do I play? What else is on this Switch? And I could have started Dragon Quest 7. Like, I don't want to start a 60, 80 hour RPG right now. Let's not do that when I know I have other things in the fire. And eventually I will need to play Grim Fandango, so I don't need to start on that. Should I jump back into Final Fantasy Tactics? Oh man, I really should, but it's been a while. It would be a lot of retraining my brain on that one. And then I found a little game that was on my Switch that I went, oh yeah, I never finished that one. And why not? This will be perfect. So Bobby, I played more Super Robot Wars Y.
You know, not even gonna say it's a bad thing.
Yeah, it just washes over you at this point. You're
desensitized. It's not that. It's that I need to just come to grips with, like, we all like different food, and
that's true.
We're in that junk food season, baby. Like we just kind of need something that is comfortable. And you've talked about going back to this. I'm not surprised. You've talked at nauseum about, like, there's DLC or something for this that you wanted to check out, right?
Yep, and it's in the game. Here's the part that is a little nauseating, is that when I went back to play it this weekend, I had a bunch of DLC missions available, so I didn't even get any further into the main story.
This is why I stopped playing Destiny.
I did was play DLC missions and get a bunch of.
That's exactly why I stopped playing Destiny.
Like, I like all this stuff. This is fun, but I didn't actually get closer to finishing this video game at all, despite putting 3-4 more hours into it. But I'm at a spot in the mid game where every mission ends up taking you about 45 minutes to an hour to complete. And it's, I think for some people, and it's been me in the past for some different Super Robot Wars games, this is kind of the doldrums period of those video games. You know, when you're first playing the games, you only have a small handful of units, and so the missions go very quickly because you don't have as many things to do on your turn, and the enemies aren't as plentiful, so you just kind of get through these things. And now, you know, when I've got 12 to 15 units on every single map, and the enemy needs to have, you know, a bunch of dudes to be able to correspond to that 12 to 15 units that I'm bringing in. And it's like, okay, everything takes just a little bit longer than it probably needs to. That game does have auto battle stuff that you could turn on if I wanted to, but I'm also at the point of the game where when you're in the mid game, everybody's really close to a bunch of thresholds that, oh, you know, if I get a couple more kills, you know, this guy gets ace status now, and he gets new extra stat boosts and some new abilities. So I really want to see what that is. Hey, you know, this guy, there's a bunch of secrets in the game, and I know, like, this guy needs to get, you know, 100 kills before his secret thing opens up, and so I'll be ready for that when it comes into the end game. Well, I guess I need to get those last couple kills on him so I can get that point and have that ready to go. And so now you're at the point where, okay, it's cool. I'm now using different units and trying to unlock those last couple things. And so there's always purpose going into those missions. And then once those things are kind of done, then I can go back to, okay, now I'm just playing all my favorite guys, and we're going in and we're steamrolling. We're just trying to make the most badass units possible. So we're kind of getting into that third phase. And that's what I really like about Super Robot Wars games, is they have kind of these phases of play, even if all the missions do kind of feel the same because you are just still playing on a bunch of flat chessboards and moving units all over the place, and things are taking hours to complete.
Are there any Robot War games that are not on the Switch that you haven't been able to play that you can play now that you have a Thor?
Yes. Oh yeah. Well, they're games that I already had access to, but now I have access to them on the Thor. There's ones for the GBA. There's Super Robot Wars ones, and then there's the Super Robot Tyson ones, which are the same mechanics, but none of the licensed stuff. So it's just hey, do you want to play a Super Robot Wars game without all the Gundams that you know? And my usual answer is no. I want to play with the Gundams. But someday I will get to those games as well. There's a couple that have only been in Japanese that have gotten English translations from people. We're starting to see a bunch of AI made machine translated ones.
I'm sure.
That I'm like, I don't really want to support that, and it makes me feel bad that people are interested in that, because then nobody's going to do the work of actually it's translating those games if just the machine translations are doing it for them.
It's happening with the texture pack communities too.
Sure.
They're downloading the rips, and then rather than going in and creating them themselves, they're just uploading those to AI engines and having them up-res all, and then it sucks. It sucks.
It's a little bit dire, but for now, I know that I've got a billion of these games to play, and I just
is there a new one coming out soon?
No, I don't think they've announced anything, because Y is still relatively new. It's only 20 years old, and 30. I can't remember when 30 came out, but it felt like there was maybe a good 3 or 4 years between each of those games. So I'm, it's fine by me. Part of me was thinking that though, of like, oh, I could really go for a new Super Robot Wars game. And then the other part of me was, hey, dumbass, you still have a brand new Super Robot Wars game that you haven't finished yet.
God,
plus you have all these old ones that you could play. Shut the fuck up.
We are terrible people.
We are terrible people. So I played a lot of Super Robot Wars Y this weekend and had a great time. And I do want to continue playing that, even though now that I'm back home with internet, I'm like, first thing I did was download Grim Fandango, but I didn't play it. So,
well, I appreciate you pivoting from Grim Fandango. I hope you get to play it. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on that one.
I'm definitely going to play it. It's just a matter of time. It's sad because this was the perfect weekend before we have our next monthly preview, where I should be spinning the wheel again. I might just skip the wheel for the next month.
No, that's fair.
I play Grim Fandango.
All right, Chase. While you were playing something, dare I say, old, I was playing something that just came out today. Well, depending. If you bought the deluxe version, you had advanced access 24 hours before it came out. So I started playing 007 First Light yesterday. And I'm playing this on the PC. This is the newest game from IO Interactive. It will set you back a whopping $70 or $80 if you're going for the deluxe upgrade. I was hesitant on this one. We talked about it on the monthly preview. You and I have both talked about this on this podcast, where we are both appreciative of Hitman. I think that we've played versions of Hitman, but I don't think we have enjoyed it to the degree that others have, especially the most recent offerings from Hitman. Like, we like to watch it, but not play.
Yes, I love to watch.
Love to watch, especially Hitman. But 007 First Light, there was something about the presentation. Like, I enjoy James Bond quite a bit. And I was like, oh, this seems like a nice evolution for the studio. I could see how you could go from the Hitman formula into, MI6, 007. I could see how you get there. And as the previews are coming out, I was like, oh, people are really into this. I've had it pre-ordered for a little bit. And I'm a couple hours into it at this point. I've gotten through the opening, and I want to talk about the training and the intro a lot. So I'm going to be cautious not to spoil too much. This is a James Bond origin story, so the good news is like I don't really know where it's going in these first hours. I don't know who the main villain's going to be.
Well, it's like an origin story, but it's not based on.
No, this is like
so
brand new.
nobody knows where it's going until they
Correct.
play it. Yeah.
But I do want to highlight some mechanics that I think are really cool about it. My overall first impressions, hot takes, if you will, on what's going on with it. And I'll try and draw some comparisons to point to other games that maybe will help you make a decision if this is the right one for you. But
sure. And I've read a couple of reviews too, so I can help you out here and add a little context as we go along.
Chase, this thing makes a hell of a first impression. Like it's prestige in the best way. Like I was talking to my cousin about it, and hopefully this lands. But the way that those Sony Studio first party narrative driven games, like your God of Wars, your Uncharted's, the Last of Us, the way that those feel in like scope and magnitude is really on par with how this game feels. Like it feels.
Well, it's really easy to draw that line, right? Like
100%.
Especially to Uncharted. Like,
yes.
Hey, here's a guy with a gun and a short haircut, and he's just gonna adventure around to a bunch of exotic locations like that. It seems like on the surface, like this game absolutely should just be an Uncharted game that also has a bunch of Hitman elements to it. And I think in some ways it is that, and in some ways it's not, from what I'm hearing.
For me, it kind of lives between the Hitman games that we're talking about. And I keep coming back to Star Wars Outlaws a lot on just like how it plays and the gadgetry of like you can switch your blaster to do other stuff, the way that you're sneaking. Because Hitman had a stiffness to it. And Hitman felt a lot more like a blank slate, where so far 007 First Light feels more like, let's reward your skills. And what I mean by that is like you can go into these environments and you can find traces or clues that then you can explore. Like, all right, I could either get to this destination by finding a way to get into a staff-only area of this bar, or if I could find a way to get up to the balcony of the dance floor, that would get me where I need to go. And you can go and kind of find clues that give you a better understanding of like, which path do I want to choose? So it's linear story. Those Hitman games felt way more like sandboxes to me, where you could just like pop in and rattle some cages and figure out like how goofy or how effective could you make it. But with First Light, like at that scenario, it's like, well, I got this passcode because I was able to eavesdrop on somebody having a conversation about being on a guest list. That should get me at least up the stairs to the balcony area. Maybe I'll start to explore that further. And that kind of gave me some choices to get into it. But the combat and the gear and the gadgets, I was really curious about like, how are those going to feel? Because again, I think that Hitman's feel pretty stiff from a combat. Like it's just slow. It's a bit, I hate to say that, but it's kind of a slog to like move around. It's very methodical.
Well, it's also like such like the whole game is built that way. So it works more in Hitman because the game is so rigid in some ways, in the way people see you and what they do. Like the AI routines that go into those things feel rigid in that way, where it's not a big deal that you also feel rigid when you play the game, because it just fits into the type of video game. But that doesn't quite work when you're trying to play something that is, a big technical smooth showpiece like an Uncharted kind of game, like those big Sony first party things. So I can understand that friction that goes in there of, what am I expecting versus what am I getting out of First Light? But you think it leans a little bit more into the smoothness?
Oh, 100%. Like the combat, because you can get into it. Like if you get caught doing something, what's cool about it is it's very James Bond in the sense that you're a charmer. And so like James Bond could talk his way through most scenarios, but he also was competent and skilled enough if things went sideways on how to address it. So if you do happen to open a closet door that you thought was empty, and there happens to be people in there doing something, you can talk to them and kind of ease the tension of that situation and figure out a way to like not even engage in a battle or not even like disrupt you being stealth or undercover. So you can lean into it. And they got some things that you can recharge it. So like you might have 3 bluffs that you can use on a mission. But if you do certain things, you recharge that filter that gives you a bluff back if you want to use that. You also have your gadgets. And I think this is probably one of the cooler things that they've done. So the watch face is your HUD, which is awesome. So like in the bottom corner, it's your compass. It's also, you can load 2 abilities. So the watch is always present to like hack into shit, but you can choose if you want to go in with like a smoke screen, or if you want to go in with a dart that makes somebody nauseous for 30 seconds. So you can kind of read like what the mission's going to be. Is it going to be more like guns live, or is it going to be, I need to be smooth, I need to be the charmer? So maybe I'll bring the stuff that is like, oh, I just itched my face and hit you with a dart, and now you're sick, throwing up. I'm going to sneak past you and get that key really quick so I can go into the staff only section. But if it's going to be more of a like guns live, maybe I'm going to bring a smoke screen. Maybe I'm going to bring something that's going to make you a bit more concussed, so I can come in and have some arsenal. Because there's some really cool fluidity to you, like going from hand-to-hand combat to picking up one of their guns, getting into cover. And that's the thing that really blows my mind here, is how good the combat feels and the gunplay feels. So the combat, it's not fully Arkham, but you are taking on multiple people at once at times. And the way that you'll go about that is either grappling and throwing people into each other. You can parry really easily on this. You can just dodge and sidestep, or you can incapacitate. You can shoot a leg, kind of move around that way and do it. You can hit somebody with that dart. You can use the gear around you, or environmental stuff. If you have your watch, like you could trigger, and who's to say that this is a thing in the game? I'm not trying to spoil anything, but maybe you can make a car go backwards, or you can move a bar that's going to knock somebody down, or maybe you drop something on a group of people, or maybe you just have a distraction that you trigger to get 2 of the 3 people to focus on something else, so you can take one person out and then get your footing. So it gives you some choice on how you want to approach combat, or just avoid it. Climbing feels a lot like Uncharted in the most recent Tomb Raider games. So like you'll do a little like grapple the sledge, jump over here to do that. Your watch also helps you kind of like ping and vision things, which is fun. But the thing that's really been blowing my mind is just how good, and I can't underscore this enough, how good of a James Bond story this is. Like the narrative story of the beginnings of James Bond, because you're 26 in this, and like meeting Moneypenny and meeting M and understanding Q, and like how IO's versions of these characters are. Chef's kiss, no notes. The car chases have been great. I had a little boat escape getaway. There's a lot of heart. Some shit just went down for people that I already like really thought were cool characters, and the dynamics are shifting on that. The threat is starting to emerge. It's got a maturity of like the Daniel Craig James Bond movies do, but it also has like the goofiness of like, oh, I'm in Q Labs and I touched this lamp and I've concussed the person working on it by accident. Like it's not afraid to lean into some of the charm and the laughs, the LOLs there, but man, this thing is coming out swinging. It feels very confident, very competent. It's fun to play. It's just a blast. I'm having so much fun playing the game. And I'm really like impressed so far about like, if this was just a James Bond story, like this is a really fucking good one of those. So 007 First Light, $70 on everything, single player. There is some cosmetic stuff you can get with the deluxe version, like different outfits and skins for your weapons, but I have not seen anything that would be like monetization of like currencies or stuff in game. Like it can be played offline completely from start to finish if you want to. There is some enhancements from playing it online that I don't quite know yet, but again, $70, you get a standalone offline capable. I think 20 hours is kind of the storyline that they're going for here, but it's very cool.
I know there's also like a bunch of content once you do beat the game.
Yeah,
it's got some VR mission kind of stuff, which it sounds like that's really where the game like takes full use of everything it has. Because from what I've heard, you know, the hand-to-hand combat stuff is extremely simple.
Yes,
and it can be a little frustrating that the game, because apparently like the game doesn't give you a whole lot of new things to do very quickly. Like it stretches out the abilities that Bond gets. But then once you get to those VR missions, you have everything available to you. So having a simplified hand-to-hand combat is really nice, because now it's just one more tool in the tool belt of the gadgets versus the guns, and the guns don't have a whole lot of ammo in it. So it's a lot of going from this gun, now I'm out of ammo, now I have to go find another weapon. And so it is pushing you forward in a way and forcing you to take down these combat challenges in some interesting ways. And that seems to be like where the real good parts of the game get from a mechanical standpoint anyway. So
last thing I'll say is this. I think it's maybe the best tutorial I've ever played in a video game.
Interesting.
Like, it's not, that's like not something you think a lot about. Like, tutorials are kind of just like boilerplate, but they found a way to like integrate it into the story in a very cool way. So it's a big recommendation from Bobby, which should not shock anybody, but I think 007 First Light's a ton of fun. Chase, what else? Are you Switch only on this episode, or did you dip your toe back into
No, these other two are on my Thor.
Okay.
Yeah, I was looking for someone to play on the Thor tonight to just have some other things to talk about. And one of the games that I came across that I've had for a while and just have never played, is called Snowboard Champion. This is an original Game Boy game. It's Japanese only. So I don't actually know what it's called in Japanese, but it's been translated to Snowboard Champion. And it's a really cute little thing. It's for the Game Boy Color. And the idea here is got like an anime art style to it, and you play as a guy or a girl, cool. And you have different little stats, and you compete in these one-on-one challenges, and there are 4 challenges for every person that you go up against. So there's what are the first? It's like a single trick, like a big trick. So you go off a ramp, and then you get to do one trick, and then who gets the most points wins that competition. And then the next one is a slalom race where you're having to avoid obstacles while also getting through the slaloms, and it's a one-on-one race at that point. So whoever wins that race gets the next leg of the competition. And the third one is a half pipe, where you use the same kind of mechanics, but now you're using a half pipe, and you get 10, 20 seconds to do as many tricks and get as many points as you can. And then that one's done. And then the last one is a snowboard cross, which is kind of just another race. It doesn't have the slaloms to it, but it's just a second race. And then once all 4 of those are done, they kind of tally up who won with either points or the different wins for the different competition. And then from there, you take on increasingly more difficult people that each have their own kind of personalities and stats. So like the first person you go up to, their trait is that they're an introvert, and they just have this like little sad, like, hey, I don't know, I just snowboard over here. Now the problem, Bobby, is that this is one of those games where having a manual would have been really nice. Like having a manual in the box so you can take out and read the manual and see, hey, here's how to play this video game. Here's what the buttons do. Would have been incredibly helpful, because I started playing this game and it just dumps you right in.
Oh, sure.
You start on the big trick, and your character is automatically moving down the pipe. It's an isometric view, and it's automatically going down the slope, and then it goes off the jump. And I go, what am I doing here? I'm trying to press buttons. I'm trying to like move my character with the D-pad, and it's not doing anything. And I try hitting the A button, doesn't do anything. I try hitting the B button, it doesn't do anything. I go,
did you not map your inputs?
I did. But I'm thinking, is something broken here? Like what's going on? Then I'm in the air and I'm trying to touch buttons and see what happens. And somehow I do one somersault forward, and it goes, great, you got 1,000 points. And then I go, was that good? Was that what I was supposed to do? Did I do it right? And then you see the computer control guy go, and he does like 4 flips, and he finishes, and he has 2,200 points. And I go, what the fuck?
Yeah,
and I
what's
don't even
going
get
on?
to try it again. I don't get to like suss it out, because now we're on to the next competition. Now you're on to the racing one. And now when I'm doing the racing one, I go, okay, now I can move from side to side. That's good. Now okay, that's something that I can do. And so I'm trying that, and the guy just kind of speeds past me, and I go, what's happening here? And so he burns me on that one as well.
No.
So I'm now 0-2, and I'm going, what the hell what the hell is this video game? I just want to be good at it. I want to figure out how I'm supposed to play it. And now we're on to the half pipe, and your character automatically starts going down the half pipe, and he's not getting any air. And I'm going, what do I have to do? And when he's getting down into the corners of the pipe, like the bottom of the pipe, the character sprite looks a little off center. It's like, okay, so do I have to like keep balance in some way? Do I have to like keep the board like perpendicular to the, or parallel to the pipe? Is that my problem? And so I'm trying to figure it out. And at one point, I hold the A button and I go, oh shit, the air gauge in the bottom right corner is starting to, or bottom left corner is starting to fill up. Okay, so I have to hold A to like ollie. Okay, that's helpful. So now I get like one hit of air, and then my character comes down and it says finish, and I went, oh fuck, well I fucked up on that one. And so then the final competition happens, which is just that straight race, and I learn a little bit more, which is if you press the right on the D-pad, it is your like push forward button, and then if you press back, or if you press left, like that's your kind of brake, hold back, maybe I can get a better carve to turn if I need to. And I go, okay, I think I'm starting to figure out how this fucking video game plays. And so I have to I win that competition. So hey, 3-1 I lose. That didn't work out so well. And then I tried to play it again, and I wouldn't say I did better, but I felt better, that I was at least like playing the game on its own terms. But I like, that is one of those games where, man, old NES games, old Game Boy games, if you didn't have the manual, you're kind of just fucked unless you remember exactly how to play that fucking video game.
100%,
so that ended up being my experience. I think it's cool. I want to go back to it and try it some more. It does seem to be a pretty thin experience because, the races both feel very similar, and the trick ones both feel relatively similar in the way that they play. But I kind of have the bug because it does look so nice.
Yeah, I'm looking at photos. It looks really good.
It looks awesome. And so I was like, maybe I'll go back and play more Snowboard Champion. But I probably want to like look up a tutorial online or see if I can find a scan of the. Sure. I guess I can't find a scan of the manual because it would be in Japanese. Somebody has to have like a game facts of this.
Well, I put that app on your Thor that will let you load that guide up.
That's true. So
you just got to go find that.
Load up the internet and figure it out that way. But Snowboard Champion, it seems like it's cool. I want to try it more.
I'll let you keep. I'll save. I've been playing probably the most. Well, Horizon the most. I've been playing Lego Batman: Legacy of the Dark Knight. I'll talk about that next week before the preview. Okay. So if you want to round out with your other game, you can, or if you want to wait till next week, whatever you want to do.
No. This won't take me very long at all, and I'm not planning to play more of this right now. But I was trying to play some other stuff on the Thor, and I don't think I've got some folders configured correctly because I was trying a couple things and they weren't working. My GameCube games aren't working. My PlayStation games aren't working. I went, fuck it. Let's just, hey, I know I could play PS2 games on this. Let's try this. And so I loaded up Dynasty Warriors 3, which is a game that I
that's getting a remake, right?
For. This is the one that is getting a remake, which I still don't know what that means because every Dynasty Warriors game is kind of a remake of Dynasty Warriors 3. What the fuck do you mean by that? And I still have no idea what that means. Whether it's just we're going to make the characters look like the character, like the styles that we put them in. Are we going to keep the same kind of giant maps? There are a couple of mechanics that maybe we can keep the same. But it's been a very long time since I played Dynasty Warriors 3. And also the last time I played Dynasty Warriors 3 was on the Xbox. This is the PS2 version. And the Xbox, I think, did a little better when it came to like fog and having people on screen. And it might have even had a couple of extra features that made it feel slightly better. Because I got to tell you, this felt like fucking shit. It's not... There's still a charm to it for sure.
Sure.
But it's a game that does not make any good use of the right thumbstick. It is not dual stick movement.
Yeah.
It is if you're moving with the left stick, will eventually center the camera, and you also have a button that allows you to center the camera behind you. And I went, oh, that didn't feel too great. And it really is. You talked about Hitman feeling rigid. This game is so fucking rigid.
I bet you could find a mod. I mean, not that you want to put this much effort into it, but like, for example, I have a mod on Ocarina of Time that rather than doing the weird C stick shit that you could do or the C button stuff with the cameras, it turns the right thumbstick on the Thor into like an actual like move the camera, move your character, all that shit. Yeah. So I bet you there's a mod for it out there.
It's possible. Dynasty Warriors 3 is one of the more popular ones of this series. But it was kind of nice just going into the Yellow Turban Rebellion, playing as Guan Yu, smashing a few guys, getting one of the things that is in this game that's also in the newest Dynasty Warriors Origins, is that they went back to having actual level ups on the characters and getting stat boosts on the characters. Now in Dynasty Warriors 3, it's individual to all the individual generals that you can get, whereas Origins has that one made up character who's just getting stat boosts the whole time. But that was hey, you killed that general guy, he drops a defense +2 shield, and now you can grab that, and now Guan Yu gets +2 defense to his stats forever. So it wants you to play as the same character time after time after time, so you can collect new items and new weapons and new saddles that allow you to access to the different horses in the game. Now I'm not going to do that because that would take me hundreds of hours to unlock some of that stuff, and I just wanted a quick hit of nostalgia, which is what I got. I got to hear some of the fun lines. The cutscenes in that game are incredible, and they're still incredible. I love Dynasty Warriors 3 to death, and I really am interested to see what that remake is going to bring, and what that thing is, and how
that's this year, right?
Make it. That is supposed to be this year. I think they pushed it back a little bit from what it was originally supposed to be. But yeah, so we'll see what that means in terms of the cutscenes. I can't imagine they would bring back that voice acting, even though they should, because the voice acting is perfect. They're mispronouncing all the characters' names, and it's fucking beautifully terrible. I love it so much.
I will tell you,
it doesn't play very good. I know that.
I added the trigger extensions that might want to consider doing that to yours. It's made. I'm enjoying that. They're like, I got them $8 off Etsy. So anyway, you're still enjoying the Thor. You got to check out Snowboard Champion on it and Dynasty Warriors 3. You dipped back into Super Robot Wars Y. You have Grim Fandango on deck before the big monthly preview next week. Also, I'll talk more about Batman or Lego Batman next week, but this week was about Forza Horizon 6 and 007 First Light. And then we also broke down some of the stuff happening with Destiny and our supposed return to the platform. So keep an eye out. Probably 2 weeks from now, you'll see us going live with it.
Maybe see you on the Cosmodrome.
See you on the Cosmodrome. But as we roll over here into credits, I'll call this out. So we're getting into some wild times here at the Casual Hour. We've teased it a few times, but next week will be our June monthly preview. And then the Monday following that, we had decided that we would not do a traditional stream of a game, but we would kind of recap Summer Game Fest on that Monday. So we were going to just have hey, let's talk about some of the stuff from the weekend that we enjoyed. And then Wednesday will be what you've been playing. So we'll get into some of that. But that Wednesday is also, I think, what we were going to be potentially celebrating our 10th anniversary here at the show, which is crazy to think about. So we've got the show turning 10 years old. We've got Summer Game Festival. We've got Destiny sunsetting. A lot of things that we're going to be doing some stuff with on top of the video games, which there's some cool games coming out. There's some other cool games. Like I got a game I'm looking at right now that I've been playing on my Thor that I think would be fun on a Monday night. Like there's some cool shit that we can be checking out together here. It's a great time to be a fan of the Casual Hour. And if you're not a fan, we've got 10 years worth of content to convince you. So pick your poison is what I'll say. This week,
listened to like the first 7 years of that.
It's bad. We took Monday off for the holiday this week, and we were just live tonight with what you've been playing. If you want to follow around with what we're doing, you can do so by going to all the stuff that's not popping up here. Hang on. Let's see if this works. There we go. And then Chase, why don't you tell the fine folks about all the crazy things that you do outside of the show?
Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel, Chasey K Plays, where I'm currently playing through Pokemon TCG Generations, which is a ROM hack of the Pokemon trading card game for the Game Boy Color in a series called I'm Still Just a Bill. Still Just a Bill, in fact.
Still a bill.
And that's been great. I love that little ROM hack. I think there's so much cool stuff. That is just one of my favorite games to play is the Pokemon trading card game, and having new cards and new mechanics in there has really revitalized an old favorite. So that series keeps on going. There's a new episode that's out today.
Cool.
Check it out.
Hell yeah.
And speaking of new episodes of things, we are recording a new episode of my other podcast that I do called Pilot Program that I do with my good friend and good friend of the show, Pierce Borshane. Pierce and I watched the first episodes of every television show ever made. Tomorrow we will be talking about He-Man, not Hitman. I almost said Hitman. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe from the 1983. And I got to say, that show fucking sucks.
Wow.
So I'm very much looking forward to ripping into that with Pierce, talking about Ronald Reagan, talking about the FCC, talking about toys, talking about a guy who goes by many names to get around. I don't know if he's getting around SAG stuff or whatever. I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting episode. I'm very much looking forward to talking about it. But man, that episode is garbage. Oof. So that'll be interesting. And you know what? I bet that movie will be garbage too.
Yeah, probably so. All right. Well, you've got plenty of stuff to keep you occupied. We appreciate you spending time with us tonight. We enjoy what we're doing, and we enjoy you being here to be a part of it. We will be back on Monday with a video game. Stay tuned, everybody.